we are going back into the binder on today's episode of Baseball King Collectibles. That's right, everybody. We're going back into this binder once again. We did half the binder. You can see, oh, it's full. It's heavy. I'm putting it down. We did half on a previous video. I'll put that on at the end screen. So if you want to see that, watch this video to the end. Then you click on that and you can go back to the other video. So I'll go skim through it real quick at the beginning and show you guys, real fast. I'll go through the first, pages that you did miss in the last video, in case you don't want to go back to watch that other video. But just in case you do, it's there. And thank you all you newcomers for subscribing. I really appreciate so many new people in the last week or two. Really, it's amazing. So over 1,000. The next goal, 1,100. We'll go 100 at a time until we get to 2,000. Hopefully we get there one day, years from now, whatever it takes. I don't care. I'm in no rush. I'm just so glad you're here watching. You guys know, if you don't know, and you do know, for those who know, I'm also a celebrity autograph collector as well. I have over 10,000 autographs of both sports and celebrities. As you can see, so many around me here, so surrounding me. Who's got the best background also for you guys to, enjoy the viewing pleasure along. That's it. That's all I got for you. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It means a lot. Hit the like button, hit the share button, comment, anything. It's really, really helping the channel for you guys who have been. And thank you so much. You guys know who you are. You're my best commentators and all that. And I thank you so much. And you know what? We're just going to stop talking and we're going right to the video. So let's do it. Let's not waste any time. Let's get right into the binder, part 2. And you've seen part 1. If you haven't, well, I'm just going to go through these very fast and you're going to see what you missed. So if you want to see the full video, I'm going to put the link in at the end of the end screen. So watch to the end and you can go right to this video as well. Ooh, look, Mickey. And it's the staple Mickey. So there's a little short I made on that one too. Some Yazzes. More Yazzes. Yaz, for you Yaz guys out there. See? Affordable Yaz. Not like Mickey. So that's why, and rows and rows and rows and rows. Not like I said, these cards are big value cards. And it's not about the value ever for me. It's all about nice, beautiful. I love these cards. I don't care if they're worth 10 cents. It's beautiful. I love this card, this tie-breaking card. So all these rose cards are really, is all from my original collection. All of this. I very rarely even bought cards over the, whoops, we lost the rose here. I bought cards after the, whatchamacallit. Once the 80s had, but from the 70s, nothing. That I had to purchase. I think you see 60s here. It's all my originals. Some of the 70s also. Not all of them. And all the 80s are mine too. So let's get through Rose and let's get through Seaver. And let's get to the new stuff, guys, right? That's what you want to see. So we're hurrying through this. You guys who haven't seen any. Whoop, there's where we started. We left off at Carew last time. This page. We haven't seen this page, so. I got the 68 Carew. I don't have his rookie card. I could use that one in my collection. Anybody out there have one have to spare to ship off to old Baseball King Collectibles? I'm kidding, but Carew's beautiful. Maury Wills, a bunch of him. I don't know why, Maury Wills we didn't have any cards in the mid-60s. A few years he didn't have a contract with Topps, and he was left out of the set. So some Billy Williams. I like this page here. The old guys, Spahn, Berra, Gil Hodges. You can't go wrong with those guys ever. Like I said, none of these are mint. They just look great. And binders covers up every crease. You don't see no creases here. You don't see it. The binders, you just don't see it. It just looks beautiful. These cards were always my favorite as a kid. These are my original as a kid. I pulled. Okay. Next up, we have Don Sutton. This side, and the Babe on this side. A lot of Suttons, going back to 68 was the oldest one here. 67, well, 67 is older. 71, hard to get in mint condition. The 71 is very difficult. Not nice, and nothing's mint here. All these Babe cards I got here. I got to tell you the story one day how I accumulated all these from my mother's cousin. He had a bunch of cards, and somehow they sent me down to the basement to look through his cards, and somehow these came home with me. I'll tell you that story one day. A bunch of other cards as well. Early win. This next page, it's the Gimme page. Bob Gibson and Lou Brock. They belong together because they were great teammates for so many years. I do have the Gibson rookie. I finally got him after so many years. There was a Gibson rookie I could have bought for $12 back in the early 80s, and it was a beauty, and I turned it down. I said, Gibson, who cares, Some things you never forget. But my son, the Baseball Prince, did replace that card for me. Not replace it, purchased that card for me one day. And now I have a Gibson rookie in my collection. A couple Big D's, the Big D. Love Don Drysdale. Here's a couple errors with some tape on it. But, I probably paid $1 for this in some dollar box back in the day. So it's worth it. Anything you could see here, these are all my originals. All originals. All pretty much. So, hey, Aaron Page. Can't go wrong with an Aaron Page. Where's Mays? Where's no Mays? Interesting so far. Got to be in here somewhere in this book. We'll get to it. Ellie Howard, always a fan favorite of mine. And here's more Aarons, of course. Some newer ones. KOUFAX. Can't go wrong with KOUFAX. Don Newcomb. Sandy and Johnny Padres. Duke Snyder and Walter Ralston. Duke Snyder. Gotta love the Duke. Gotta love him. Look at him. Look at the gray hair. He looks like he's about 50 in this picture. He's like 35, right? I mean, guys looked old in those pictures back then. Was it the photography or they just looked old? Like, hey, Eddie Matthews Page, and he don't look very happy here. It was last year with the Braves, I think it was, and he went to Tigers in Houston. His Tigers. Hey, Dave DeBuscher. Dave the Brave. Won a championship, 2 championships with the Knicks, so he's a multi-player, DeBuscher. Not many of you know it out there, but he was. And I have so many of these guys' autographs in person. As you know, I'm an in-person autograph collector. I have pretty much everybody in this book, their autograph, except Elson Howard. He died very young. I didn't get a chance to meet him. Yeah, we got some Mays stuff. Here we go. Mays in action. Mays McCovey. Or a bad Mays. But this, like I said, these are my offbeat cards. I don't put anything really expensive or anything that's, mint in here. Just a bunch of cards that I have doubles and triples and home runs of, So I just made the binder back in the early 80s. I probably put this binder together. So there's a bunch of Mays. That's card number 1. Always a tough card. Off center, but a tough card because of card number 1. That's always the toughest card in the set sometimes, and the last card. All right, we turn the page. We got Marichal and K-Line. Here's a couple of ones. Still signing away, too. Great autograph signing through the mail. And Al K-Line. He would have been a god in New York if he played in New York, right? Well, he would have Detroit. A little lost in Detroit, but still great career. I mean, he's not underrated, but like I said, in New York, he'd be even more of a star. That's just the way it is. Killebrew, my second favorite player of all time after the Mick. He became my number 1 guy once Mick retired. And, I love Killebrew. One of my all-time favorites. I got his rookie card, too. It's always in the background. You can see it in some of my videos. Jim Bunning, Sam McDowell, Orlando Cepeda. Perfect game Bunning. Went on to be a senator. That was a pretty good deal he had. Yeah, Southern Sam McDowell. He was, the Paul Skeens of his day, striking out 300 and 200 innings, whatever. These guys were great. Cepeda, of course, in the Hall of Fame. Oh, here's more Killebrews. I knew I had a bunch more somewhere. Almost every year, I think. Pretty much. Every year included one of each year. And like I said, these aren't mint. There's no, nothing like that. But they're all in pretty decent shape. This is a pretty good one. I think the 68. That's from my original collection, I believe. 68s. Not my original, but I love the Yankee Stadium in the background. There it is. Yankee Stadium. Beautiful, right? I love the old stadium background photos because most of the photos were taken in Yankee Stadium or Shea Stadium by Topps photographers back in the 60s because that's where Topps was located in New York. Joe Morgan, bunch of Joes. Nice. I love this card. Beautiful card. This is 66. I love that card. I have his rookie card somewhere, but not in here, of course. Willie Stargell, Pops. Nice. Nice 65. Nice 72. Well, some of the cards, like I said, it's just, I like the card. Like I said, I love the card. Some of the cards is beautiful to look at. Forget the condition. Who cares? And especially in a binder. But the binder is all about how it looks, how it presents. So I think this binder is doing pretty good here. There's a rookie card in there. There's a 68. 68, yeah. Carlton can't go wrong. Like I said, I put this together years ago, hoping these guys would turn into Hall of Famers. They had careers, but when I put this binder together, these guys were all still playing. So this is all speculation on my part that most of these guys would become Hall of Famers eventually. And not only Hall of Famers, some of the all-time greats, right? Schmidt. I mean, come on. Jim Palmer and Gaylord Perry. That's the last card in the 1966 set, the high number. Very difficult to get in any condition. So I take what I can get, and I got that one. For my original, and these are my originals. I've got doubles and triples of all these. Palmer, rookie. Next up, it's Koosman, Munson. The guys who could have been in the Hall. I mean, Munson, look at his career. Still, his WAR numbers. I'm not into the WAR number, but statistically, he's right up there with some of the greats who are in the Hall. Koosman, real close. Borderline. He just missed out on a couple of Cy Youngs. He had Seaver compete against. He had, Negro and all kinds of big guys to compete against. This one came out of the binder. Let me put that back in. And this side here, I got some old Yankees, Randolph, Pinelli. You know, I love the Yankees, of course, so I always put the Yankees, even though they're no Hall of Fame guys, but Munson one day might get in there. Tommy John, another guy who's real close, but you know, the Tommy John surgery, that's what that's who he is, Tommy John surgery. I believe Mazzilli's for the Met fans out there. Bobby Mercer, I was a huge Mercer fan growing up as a kid. You know, this year's Mercer's, look at the old Yankee Stadium in the background. I love it. Tommy John, see, all the Yankee Stadium in the background. I love those old photos. Well, Mercer, here we got Johnny Bench. And you know, I got the Johnny Bench 2 rookies. You know, you've seen that in the videos. I made a video about that too. Here's the Gold Cup card bench. Beauty, that's a beauty too. It's really pretty nicely scented too. George Foster didn't make the Hall. Gary Carter speculated, and yes, he did make the Hall. You know, you wait. Some guys get in, some guys don't. Raleigh Finger, he got in. See, I put this book together back in the early 80s. I don't even see any late 83. There's nothing later than that in this book. Vita Blue, coulda, woulda, shoulda. Here's another big guy, coulda, woulda, shoulda. If he just had a better batting average and a little bit more to his career. Damn, he was close. What monster home runs, though, he hit, right? I mean, incredible home runs. I mean, you went for batting practice. When I used to go to Met games earlier, back when he was playing, you had to go early to see Kingman practice. You know, then you had to go early for Strawberry. He was those kind of guys. You had to come early, and he was absolutely Dave King Kong Kingman. Reggie, hey, we had a couple of early ones, 71s. Like I said, not mint, there's corner damage here and all that, but it just presents so nice, right? I mean, look, a whole page of Reggie looks beautiful. How could you go wrong with Reggie? Next up, we got Nettles and Dave Winfield, Hall of Famer and great Yankee. Maybe the greatest Yankee third baseman of all time. Defensively, for sure. Bucky Dent, you have to have a Bucky Dent page if you're a Yankee fan, just for the heck of it, right? Goose Gossage did make the Hall, so I had that page ready, right? There you go. Robin Young, Hall of Fame, of course, and Carlton Fisk. Neck and neck, right back to each other. They played their careers side by side a lot of years, and 2 great Hall of Famers. Jim Rice, another Hall of Famer. Good speculation on that on my part. You know, like I said, it's not the price. It's how it looks, how it presents. Don Baylor was close. He was getting there, and got cut short. And Bruce Sutter, we ended with Bruce Sutter, actually. So, here you go. Bruce Sutter did make the Hall also. So, a lot of my speculations came through. Just look, only a couple did, right? So, I did pretty good on all my speculations over the years. And like I said, it's not about value, guys. Don't buy cards just because it's worth something. Buy cards you like. You could buy cards very inexpensive, off great condition, and put them in the binder like this, and they just look amazing. So, you know, that's about all I got for you now. So, we'll see you soon. All right, I hope you enjoyed that binder video. Me too. You know, like I said, I don't look through these things for years. I can go years. I mean, the last time I went through this binder was, I couldn't tell you when. 20 years ago, maybe more. You know, that's what it is. You got so many of them, but just put them away, and they just sit there, and they sit there, and sit there. And like I said, there's some value in there, but am I going to sell anything ever? I don't know. Should I? Yeah. My son won't let me. That's another problem for another day, but I don't know. It's not about the value for me. You know, if I really needed the money, yeah, sure, of course. You hear those stories all the time, but thank God I don't need the money for that. You know, like when I was young, I thought my baseball card collection would eventually put my kids through college and all that stuff, but that didn't work out because the 80s bombed out and the junk wax bombed out, and we all got stuck with a lot of nothing, really. But we have fun. It's not about it's not about the value. Enjoy what you collect, enjoy what you have, and that's it. So thanks for being here. And like I said, I'm going to put up the end screen for the entire video of part 1 of this binder, and check it out. You got nothing, you got nothing better to do. It's like 10 minutes. Come on, you got nothing better to do for 10 minutes. Do it for me, and like, subscribe, and share, and do all that, and come back on the next episode of Baseball King Collectibles.